Today I'm going to do a back to school makeup look. It's been highly requested and this is total request August, so I thought I would finally do it. That along with just kind of getting started with makeup and kind of teenage makeup looks. I think it kind of all falls into one. I know that some of you will perhaps not be allowed to wear makeup at school, and some of these products you could probably get away with because they're not so obvious. I've tried to keep it as subtle as possible. So the general idea of this video, I'm going to go through the products and let you know what I think of them, whilst in a split screen you are going to see me applying them. You let me know how you feel about this format, because I could do more videos like this. I think perhaps because I'm not of any specific skill set when it comes to makeup, I'm not a makeup artist or anything like that. When it comes to tutorials, for me, I'm basically just showing you how I apply my makeup. It's nothing that you can't find somewhere else on YouTube. There's nothing special about it. And so I do prefer to do it in this kind of format because I'm also giving you something in the way of a review of each product as we go. So yeah, let me know what you think and I can do more like this. But anyway, let's just get on with the video. First and foremost, I want to mention that I have two brushes that I use throughout the video, and they are these two. I have the buffing brush, I think it's called, yes, from Real Techniques, and I have the, I think this is the Sedona Lace one, but basically they're all the same, Sigma Sedona Lace, whatever you get. That's just basically the big fluffy duo fibre brush, and I use this to apply my powder. Now, you can apply your foundation, your BB cream, your whatever base without using a brush. I do quite often. You could use it without this completely, so that eradicates one brush. If you do want to use a powder, I would definitely recommend that you invest in a brush like this. But if you don't use a powder, then you could do all of this without any brush whatsoever. So starting with base, I use the Maybelline Dream Pure BB Cream for oily skin in light, and this is the one that has salicylic acid in it. Now, I did take it kind of all over my face, including around my eyes. A couple of people said you shouldn't take it because it's got salicylic acid and it might dry out my eye area. I haven't had that problem. I don't generally have kind of dry under eyes or anything like that, so I do it anyway, but kind of something to bear in mind. I do take that on board. That might not be a good idea for all of you, and obviously you don't want to get it in your eyes. But yeah, I've used this. I really like this. It's very light. It feels really fresh. It doesn't feel heavy on my skin at all. It's just the right amount of coverage for day to day if you don't have too much redness and things to cover up, and I really like it. Perfect for school. The first concealer that I used was this Cover Everything concealer from e.l.f. It's a really thick, creamy concealer, and this really does cover quite a lot. It's quite a heavy duty concealer, but you can sheer it out. You don't need to use too much of it. So I just use this on the redness that I have on my chin and around my nose, but you could use it pretty much everywhere. I wouldn't recommend that you use it underneath your eyes because it is quite thick and it would crease. The one that I did use under my eyes was the Illuminating Touch Brightening Concealer from Collection. And this was on the recommendation of so many of you that I actually picked this up in the end. And it's the colour I have is Naked 1. It's just so brightening. The actual product itself is fantastic. I don't like the brush because it feels very plasticky. It's basically just a means to get the product onto my face. I would never use the brush for anything, and it's not particularly flexible. I don't like that part of it. But for the money, I would definitely recommend that you give this a go. And you could, I mean, if you don't have any other kind of blemishes or anything, you could conceal redness and things with this. I just wouldn't recommend that you put it over breakouts. The powder that I used was the Revlon Nearly Naked, and the reason that I chose this is because it's the most natural looking powder that I have. It's so finely milled, it doesn't look powdery on the face, it's not heavy at all, and it's pretty much undetectable. But it does absorb oil to a point, but I would need to touch up throughout the day because it's not fantastic for that. If you don't need any kind of powder at all, then brilliant. If you kind of normal to maybe combination skin, then this is going to be great for you. If you are oilier, then I would recommend the Stay Matte powder from 17. That's my favourite oil control powder. It is a little bit powdery looking to begin with, but for me, within say an hour or two, the oil has absorbed that extra powder on my face and you can't really tell. But I definitely recommend this just because it's so natural. Eyebrows is a tricky one at kind of a low cost for me, but I do like this Avon Glimmer Stick Brow Definer in Blonde. The problem that I have with my blonder eyebrows, if I've got very dark hair, then it's much easier. There are lots and lots of eyebrow pencils on the market that are brilliant for dark hair. But if you've got blonder hair, the problem is tone. There are plenty of choice out there. It's just the tone of it is always too warm for me. Whereas this is quite taupey, this is quite ash, and I really like it. Unfortunately for me, this is a little bit waxy because I don't have much in the way of eyebrows, and so I don't have much to tame. So I don't like that it's a little bit too waxy for me, but I can get on board with it just because it's so much cheaper than my Smashbox, which I love and I will continue to buy because I love it so much. But it's a very similar colour. For eyes, I wanted to keep it really simple, and again, I didn't want to use brushes, and so I used this Colour Tattoo from Maybelline in Pink Gold. It's just basically the equivalent of a MAC paint pot. I'm sure you're aware of these. The cream eyeshadows, they don't crease on me at all. I absolutely love them, and this is my favourite one. It's very brightening on the eyes. If you're talking about early mornings after having 6 weeks off school, then this is going to be a brilliant product because it's just going to make your eyes look so much more wide awake. I didn't use any kind of eyeliner in this look just because I don't generally use eyeliner day to day anymore. I do sometimes, you know, sometimes I'll put some liquid eyeliner on or a little bit on the inner rims of my eyes, but I don't use it every single day. Quite often I'll use no eye product at all apart from mascara, which we'll go on to next. And that's the Volume Million Excess Lashes that I used, and it's from L'Oreal. There are lots of mascaras that I like at the moment. I like the e.l.f. 3-in-1, but I've run out of that. I like all of the ones from this range. I don't like the collagen, but I like the original, the Luminize, and this one. This just gives me the most lashes, I think, and my eyelashes aren't very good to begin with. So I would recommend this, but if you're on a tighter budget, I really like the one from e.l.f. And I also like the NYC, what is it called? Showtime, I think it's called. I really like that one as well. I put a little bit of colour on my cheeks by way of this cream blush from MUA, and the colour is Dolly. It's just this kind of peachy pink colour. Again, taking away the brushes from the situation, this is actually really nice. It stays on really nicely, and it's one of the only cream blushes that I actually like using because it's quite cream to powder. Because I do have oily combination skin, quite often you find that you don't want to add anything else in the way of shine because, like I say, a couple of hours down the line, I'm going to be powdering my face anyway because it's super, super shiny, especially when it's warm outside like it is right now. But I really, really like this because it doesn't give a tremendous amount of shine, but it gives a little bit of a sheen. You can see a little bit of a glow, but it is cream to powder still, so it stays put a little bit longer. Lastly, I used this MUA lip gloss in shade 3. This is one of my favourite nude lip glosses, and I think it's just a little bit of something. You don't want anything too much for back to school, and this is kind of nude with a little bit of shimmer to it, and it smells amazing. This is just kind of like my basic teenage makeup, really. I wouldn't go for much more makeup than this, I really wouldn't, if you are still kind of younger, and especially during school. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!